Welcome everybody. Another podcast. Training121 are here again with the boys. We got Morgan.
Yeah.
We got Kinger. We got Daly. And we got
Yeah.
myself. Kinger has proudly presented his belt for his title of Who's Your Man. It's still up for grabs. He still has one on the board for the new game. Without further ado, Morgan.
Nilo. What's the name again?
Nearest.
Nearest wins, Niall. Nearest wins.
Sub him
Sub him
out.
out.
That's funny. So this one has a bit of a question to it, which I know you love when I do, but it's about Pele and how many goals he scored, because according to the Guinness World
Records.
Record. How do you say
Book of Records.
Guinness World
Well, that's the
Record,
book.
whatever.
Guinness World Records.
Guinness World Book of Records, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the book itself.
Yeah.
That's the
So they
Guinness
have
World
it. So
Records.
yeah, they have a set amount, and everyone says a bit ropey. But what is that amount?
Okay.
According to the Guinness Book of Records.
What is the most amount of goals someone scored? Pele.
No, Pele. So it's obviously over Ronaldo's. It's this dodgy one. You know it.
Now
I
I'm
have an
busy at the
estimate.
moment.
I have a guesstimate, but I'm not going first.
I
I'll
think,
go
I think
first
it's,
'cause
I
I'm
think it's
last.
something ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think it's
think-
absolutely something ridiculous.
What different? Ronaldo's only over 1,000, isn't he?
Career goals.
Ronaldo, yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
I'm gonna lock in on this.
We
'cause I
let
didn't
him
know last-
go.
I don't
There's
even-
no way he scored 1,000 career goals.
That was the whole thing he celebrated. Which goal was it?
Was it not 700?
If you play,
Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe it's
50
1,000.
if you play 50 games a year
Maybe it was 700.
I think it was
for
700.
10 years, that's only 500 games.
Lads, what is wrong with us? We can't even get Ronaldo's
You're saying
stats
he's
right.
playing 50 games a year for 20 years, and he's also
Niall,
scoring a
my
goal in
guess
every
is
one of them games.
980 locked in.
Very.
I'm gonna lock in and say
980
No
locked
hints,
in.
no hints, no hints.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
1,100. I think it's something mad. Like
1,100.
yeah, I actually think it's 1,200, but I'm just gonna go 100.
What do you have to say, Kinger?
I knew it was in the thousands. I know it's in
Yeah.
the thousands.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what.
Well, I know it's in the 1,000 that he has 1,000. So I was waiting to see if you would all go below 1,000, and then I was going to swoop in. But you went, what, 100?
Yeah, I'll go 100. Yeah, locked in.
So
Yeah, 800. Sorry.
it's definitely over 1,000, 100%.
Yeah,
I think I may have went.
So do I go higher or lower is the question. Then 1,200.
1,100.
1,100?
1,100. But I think it actually is 1,200. But I don't know.
No, I swear he said 1,200. I'm going to go 1,200 then.
Well, I said, you know,
You got 1,000.
thereabouts. No, I think, you know, I'm busy at the moment, so I might just let it ponder for a while. Just let it sit there. I'm joking. Do you know what? Because you're gonna be you're within 100 of each other. I could sit in the middle, or I could be ghastly and go higher. So I'm gonna be boring. No, I'm gonna go ghastly. I'm gonna go 1,350.
Oh God. Is it?
Don't be the bearer of bad news, baby boy.
What did you
It
say?
can't be
1,200.
1,200. Surely. It's double. what
Friendlies
Ronaldo's
count,
got.
man. Friendlies count.
What'd you say, 1-3?
5-0.
I think the 5-0 might kill it. I think it's like 1-2-80 or something.
I'm still, you know, thereabouts.
Would that be close?
1, 2.
I said 1-2.
1-2-80.
1-2-80. It's 1-2-8. So it's actually closer to you because I just done the math on that real quick. I'm 83.
Yes! Outlandish.
Wow.
Come on, man. That was so close, what you just said. What is wrong with you? You should have
I don't
said
know.
that.
That's weird. That's
Did you
weird.
know
That's the
that or
subconscious
definitely?
knowing that. You
It
know
is.
that. You
It
know
is
that. You know
subconscious,
that
yeah.
back there.
That's also Bronson.
Oh,
Yeah,
nonsense.
there's no chance he
Friendlies.
scored that. Can you work that out? If
He scored
played 50
17 of them
games,
against
let's
both.
say he's played 50 games a year. How many years is that? That he's just played
Was it 1, 2,
1,280 games.
25
That's
years.
20. So
25
Heads
years.
and
in order to play that many games, he has to play 50 games a year for 25 years.
Oh, and that's scoring.
So if I start when I'm 18, I finish when I'm 43. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they played 90 games back in the day, man. All the friendlies and shite. They used to tour like
Yeah, but that's the
Europe,
thing, friendlies
just
don't
play
count.
friendlies.
Yeah.
And friendlies were cat. So you're going in, Pele singing this is like the big stage, going into Europe, probably knocking 4 past beating Fiorentina or something. Happy days, man.
Didn't he play a lot of exhibitions as well?
For Haaland to catch Ronaldo in career goals, he'll have to average 43.2 goals per season for the next 15 years.
That's why Ronaldo's the goal.
Say that again, no, sorry. No, I am deadly
Kinger
serious.
was laughing because I was giving him about a speech about Pele playing friendlies. He goes, "Yeah, but loads of them were exhibitions, weren't they?" And I was like, "Kinger, that's a silly man."
I didn't even hear that.
silly.
I
We
didn't
need to
hear
start
that.
recording in the mornings.
For Haaland to catch Ronaldo in career goals, he'll have to score 43.2 goals per season for the next 15 years.
Isn't it? 15 years. Why is that? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff, man. No, it is.
So, I have a question to the floor, gentlemen. Will Haaland stay at City, right, for more than 3 years? So this is year 1. Will he stay for another 2 years plus an extra? So let's say he stays in the Premier League for 4 years. What is his total goals in the Premier League alone if he stays for 4 years and stays fit? Let's say. What's his total? What's he on right now? 25.
He's on course. to
He's
do
on
50 this
25,
year.
yeah. 25.
He's on 25 right now, and we're 19, 20 games in.
Yeah, 20,
Okay, 20 games in.
in.
25 goals. He's the problem, though.
According to
I'm
the media.
sick of that.
He misses
I'm
too many
sick
chances.
of that
He
nonsense.
does. He
Well,
misses
I'm
too
gonna
many
say
chances.
we're going to go 4 seasons. Yeah, say if he stays for 4 seasons and he stays fit, surely he scores 40 goals each year.
No, not each year. Yeah, do one like this. What did he get this year? 20, 35, 40?
He's on the way to 50, like.
Yeah, but he's not going to reach 50, is he?
I think he'll hit like 38.
I think he breaks
All
40.
comps.
All comps
or
are
you said-
74.
Sorry, you said. Do you mean when his time in the Premier League? Or in
I mean the Premier League. I mean the Premier League alone.
Oh, right.
So you're looking at 20. Is it 25 goals in the Premier League alone?
Yeah,
this year?
yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
That's
outrageous.
ridiculous.
The record
Like that's so silly.
I'm
And
gonna
people still say he's an issue.
gonna
I'm
say
sick of that.
130 goals in 4 seasons.
In the Premier League.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's outlandish.
I think
I'm kind of going with 30ish this season.
What's 4, 4,
35
16?
even. Oh, I don't know.
4 trees is 12.
That's conservative. That's
Yeah,
30.
140.
Gary,
140.
that's 30 goals a season.
I'm going to go
35
125. 125. He'll break 100.
I'm going to go, 150. I would say.
I'm going to say 140.
Yeah, think about it, Kieran. That's
140.
30, 60, 90. It's 120. And then let's say you have a really good season this year. We'll probably
Yeah.
skew the data. And then it's just 30 a season.
Just the 30, yeah. Cheers,
Okay,
Ernie.
yeah.
He's a freak.
Yeah, I think he'll hit about comfortably 110 goals. Don't disregard how good that is. 110 goals in the Premier League in 4 years. But I think he'll comfortably hit 110 and surpass it if he stays in the Premier League for 4 years, that is.
A couple of factors that would have to play in. De Bruyne would have to stay there. Foden would have to kick into another gear for him.
Put that man up front with a flip-flop and he gets 20 goals a year.
Who?
Haaland.
Wearing flip-flops. You
No.
never call them
Not
flip-flops
up
either.
front with a flip-flop. Like playing as a front two.
Like a strike
He just bounces off.
That bleeding gas, man. I thought
100%.
you meant him wearing flip-flops.
Guaranteed. And still, put him in a pair like those Gucci sliders. He still bangs 25. There's no way he doesn't. He just knows what the net is.
Up top with a flip-flop. It rhymes as well. Up top
We should
with a
get visual for
flip-flop. That would be very funny.
Anyway, yeah, crazy.
Would Haaland make your top 250 underage Irish ballers list?
Stop it. Look at Daly. Zoom in on that.
Just for reference on to what we're talking about, we just saw something on Twitter a couple of days ago with some active Twitter user who just created a how would you even label it?
Like
Like
the top 150 list and had like 250 players on it.
of just underage
I
Irish
didn't
players.
see it.
How do you categorize that? What's the category? Like, how does someone come 110th compared to 256th on a list like that? I don't get the criteria. Just opinion, really, isn't it?
Don't even talk.
You
to
said he
Daly.
based it on stats, did he?
I
No.
didn't. No.
Did you say that?
No, it's just bleeding.
Some of them
Makes no
Kinger,
sense. Like,
Kinger,
it's
some
all
of
over
them,
the shop.
some of them were born about a week ago.
Really? Is he popular?
I've no
No.
idea.
Don't
Is the tweet popular?
Yes, it was doing the rounds, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think it was.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
I'm not
it
on
was.
Twitter.
Little likes
I
on it.
get all my Twitter feedback from Daly, and every so often not.
I'm on Twitter and I've never seen it.
I filter the good stuff and the dodgy stuff like this, and then I.
Yeah, I'm
Boys.
not active on Twitter either.
It's great for
Um,
coaching stuff if you follow good.
Yeah,
pages.
I'm
Like,
active
I
on
follow
it.
some serious ones.
Follow me.
97k views.
My biggest problem with a list like that for underage kids is that they get enough. How to say this? The last thing I think they need is ego inflation with zero credibility for that list.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments on it. Someone names a keeper who should be in it, let's say. I'm not going to name the players. And then your man replies going, oh, he made the list at this number. A good preseason, he'll definitely be moved up the list next month. What? What does that even mean? What? What
Is that the
list?
tweeter replied that?
Yeah.
The fella who tweeted it replied it to the tweet to the thing.
Yeah.
If the only people you can put on lists like that, first of all, there shouldn't be a list, can I say? Second of all, that we're even discussing this. Third of all, some of these kids are children. They're like born in
Majority
07,
of them are.
08. They probably won't play senior football for, let's say, 3 years. How do you know how good they're going to be? Who knows? Some of them will probably not be playing football next year. So like this ego kick, and again that identity crisis of young kids being told, I'm on the top X amount list of Irish with zero credibility actually behind that. It's terrible for their self-esteem. They might get a huge ego kick now and be like, geez, you're on the list, aren't you? But like, what does that mean? It's nothing. Like, it's really nothing. And
It's like a
I
Bebo
get,
top friends.
and people, I find it with fans as well, especially. People love watching like young Irish talent and seeing what's coming up next. And I get that, but watch the games. Go see them play. Don't go off some list. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, but anyway, who am I to say? But yeah, I don't like the whole ego kick thing. I think kids get enough of an ego kick off their own mates these days, posting their clips on TikTok and on Instagram, on stories, and looking for a bit of feedback all the time. Like, what happens when you play bad? Do you post your bad footage and live with that?
Do you drop down the list?
Do you drop down the list? Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know anything about the tweet or the guy who tweeted it, but like, how has he seen 250 of them? Do you reckon he's seen them play now?
I don't
No.
understand. The comments on it are like, well done on the list. Like, what? Well done for what?
Probably parents comment that, man.
Yeah, bro.
Parents who have a kid in the list. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a good
know,
point,
man. I don't know. I don't want to be bitching and effing
It's-
and moaning and all, but like, it just doesn't make any
It doesn't
sense
sit
to me.
right.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't sit
just
right.
just doesn't sit well
I think
with me.
we like live on the our age group, for example, lives on both sides of social media, whereas some people who might be active in these kind of ways would be a lot older than us, so won't actually see, for example, how their players act on social media, or the potential negative of social media, because it wasn't a thing 20 years ago, whereas we've kind of grown up through it, all of us like have all grown up through it, and kind of see how wrong it can go, I suppose. It's
I'm going to put a curveball in, Morgan. What would you say to someone that said, why you post videos of young players and you're talking about not giving ego trips?
It's a good question. Me and Phil were actually talking about this earlier. So like, for us, when we produce content, like it's our content. It's our players doing what we're teaching them or what they do inherently on a pitch. Like, so like that's what we capture. That's what we post on our socials, and it represents things that we're not asking the kid to go, right, do this thing so it'll go viral and we'll post it. The kids are doing this naturally in our sessions, and we don't ever caption it in a way. I think literally in the car, me and Finn were speaking about this, how like we try to stick to the 2-1-1 roots. So when we post something, we'll never be like, this kid's a top baller or something like that, like giving them an ego kick. We'll be talking about what they're actually doing and breaking it down into our detail, because that's what we want to give to the people that are watching it, whether it's educational. And a lot of the clips are entertaining, so they fall under them two spectrums. Like, but like we'll never give like an ego kick to a kid from us, in terms of like people can like it and comment and stuff. In general, like a lot of it is just, it is what it is. You can't avoid all that on social media, but like we'll never try highlight a player and be like, he or she is absolutely unbelievable and he or she is this. Just post what they do in the sessions and just let it sit there. Like, it brings value in that way.
Do you intentionally not post a video knowing the player's personality and characteristics to hide them from a potential ego kick?
We probably have done, yes, because you know some players in whatever stage they might be. Now, generally older players, younger kids don't even see the majority of stuff that goes on, which is good. But it depends on the player. Depends on the player. But the majority of content that we post, the people that are in our environment are good people. And they don't really care for what's going on around them, as they shouldn't, to be honest. So yeah, no, it's interesting, and it is case by case, but that's how we stick to it. Like,
What do you think, as a manager of an underage team that has players on this list, if you do or do not?
Do you?
there's 2 or 3.
Well, if he does or does not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, messing. If you do or do not, what is your opinion then as a manager for your players' welfare, if anything?
on the list.
I should have worded that better.
Or
As a manager, you see now that you may or may not have players on that list. Is that something that you address proactively, or is that something that you just see as poor form because it doesn't sit right well with you?
would I address it? Probably yes.
Proactively, thinking that they might see it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's show, but like I've gotten into a habit of always trying to do a social media talk, and I end up doing it like 2 or 3 times a year because codes of conduct and shit get broken. Yeah, what's the saying? It's basically about like criticism and praise in the same way as like, don't let criticism get you too down, but also don't let the kind of praise get you too high. Essentially, I can't remember the exact word of it, but that's kind of would be my motto with this kind of stuff. Like the list like that, for example, just using that list as an example, is like just so impactful on a player's life. Like I just don't get it, to be honest. Like that, it's just a little ego boost. I don't know.
My only thing is that the person who would do a tweet like that is trying to shed some light on, as you said, Morgan, people have and so do I have a genuine interest in potential. And I think people are always drawn to young players doing great things. So maybe the person's just trying to shine some light on players that are the next, or potentially the next Irish internationals.
I don't think they need to though. They're all such, like, anyone who's in football in Ireland would know a majority of them players. So I just think it's so unnecessary.
But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it's. I didn't see the tweet around, but I don't think it's done in like bad taste in that way. I'd say it's just
I don't think
thinking,
it's been meant.
I'm gonna throw out.
No, it's
what I did.
definitely
Yeah.
no,
That's what I'm talking about. Social media. It's probably from someone a lot older than us who just thinks,
Yeah.
I'm shining a light on these people that nobody knows about. Whereas we see it as you're just like the amount of players on that list probably share that list, think it
Yeah.
means that to them. Oh, I made this top list. It's like you could have made that
Your
list
granny
yourself,
and bleeding Sligo could have made
That's
it.
what I mean. Like it like
Yeah.
I think the person who posted it, didn't have a bad intention with it,
Yeah.
but I think that doesn't mean it's not going to have a bad impact on
Yeah.
players, for example, or their mentality.
Do you think something
potentially.
like that would have a big like? I think
Yeah.
maybe the younger lads.
Definitely the
surely,
younger lads. The other ones who are playing like 21s and so on,
Yeah,
or who have
no.
international caps, no, they don't give a rat's.
Yeah.
And nor should they. I don't think they even see it. I would
Yeah.
say.
The
Or
kids
even
on it
know
who are
about
like 06,
Because-
07, 05, like that kind of
because
age
that would be
category
like
probably.
their thing at the time,
Mm.
you know.
It's nuts, isn't it? That's nuts.
I
Yeah.
know.
It's that's a good point, man. Definitely. It's an interesting one.
People love, like I actually did this once in a dressing room when I done one of these social media talks. I went, I can't remember exactly how I asked this. I think it was like, why do you post social media? Was like the opening question, and they're all kind of, and I gave us a couple of scenarios, and then I went genuinely, and these were quite an honest group. It was like, how many people post our result after a game when we win, especially, so someone else in, let's say, in your group sees it, or people you know from other teams see it, and like half of them said yeah. So it's just to show that we beat this team, like basically, as like a little bit of a we won today sort of thing. So it's like kids are like that. They seek the external, what would you call it? Praise, affirmation, yeah, from other teams and rivals and all this other kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it's because they're scrolling through TikTok and they see other players commenting on other videos. I remember there was this trend going around of like a player embarrassing a player, and they put like this track over it.
Gary, please.
Remember?
Can we leave this trend out of it? It's ridiculous.
we leave that.
But I mean,
alone.
but
I'll show
this
you
is why.
after.
Oh, Finn,
yeah.
don't even start.
It was I can't even say it. Good
man.
little kid.
Make him say.
It's
Oh my God, man.
ridiculous.
I'm sorry, lads.
And again, they're valuing such silly things. Like it was
Petty.
It was
off
like
the
a
ball
petty off the
shrugs.
ball challenge. Like someone might burn you in 1v1 and you just like take them out of it. That is not a good thing to post. Like you just got done. Well, why are you looking for affirmation off this? It's such a strange culture, man. I don't know. It just doesn't. And I'm saying that it doesn't make sense to me. I do get it because kids like love that. Like not even kids. Some of these are mature people. Can I say that are like 17, 18 posting this? Like again, we always send back to you, why are you posting it? What's the reason? If it's for that constant affirmation back to you, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
If you keep digging and digging and digging, though,
There's
the
something-
problem lies with identity, and the problem lies with
Well,
self-esteem. At the core, unfortunately, it's covered by parents' opinions, coaches' opinions, a player's own conscious idea of who they are, but it's all coming from unconscious, deeper areas. But it's not talked about enough. I don't think a lot of I know the due diligence that you guys do with your club, about how you deal with social media, but I don't think any club. Me personally, I haven't heard of any club who has a code of conduct around social media and actively polices it regularly. And I think it's definitely in the best interest of kids.
Mm-hmm.
These are kids, don't forget that either. Some of them are like genuine, like children on that list, which is crazy.
Like 107 is
15, 16?
15 would be 15
Didn't
this
even
year.
see the 2006 World Cup, man. 2006 World Cup.
Crap, man.
Didn't even see it. They weren't even born.
Cannavaro
Finn
fella.
didn't even see it. Finn didn't see it.
Cannavaro and
It's Finn's age, lads. Finn's age.
I
Now,
know.
you act like you're 40, but irregardless.
Yeah. I don't know. Bin social media.
Yeah, no, it is. It's sad, I have to say. It is sad. And then we've posted videos on TikTok where let's say a player does a skill and then players then tagging this player and then it's just
Yeah,
mad stuff,
that's the negative side to what we do, unfortunately. But it is frustrating. A lot of it, and we've spoken to players before about not taking an ego kick or whatever. And some of them, you have to pull them aside, be like, disregard everything in you don't need this information a lot because it comes onto our page, not theirs. Like,
If you could, so you could, I don't know, this kind of come across as a weird question anyway, but
go for it.
if you could remove social media from all, let's say, players under the age of 18, so blanket ban, like literally you have to be 18 to get on social media, would you do it? Like, would you, if you had that power in the world?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about just all 18-year-olds? Like just kids? Yeah, what about just in general, like, would you?
I mean,
All
man,
across the board. That's kind of was my original question.
I think
but
there's a
like,
lot of
that's
positive stuff as well.
That's
I think
kind of where I'm
I think
getting at. Is there
social media.
more?
We spoke about this with the lads, but I think a lot of social media stuff is actually very positive as well. I'm not talking about someone succeeds something, they post their own. Look at me, look at how I'm doing, look how successful I am. I mean, like, just there's some really educational content out there and some really good. Also, just some. There's too much waffle, especially in football though. Especially in football. Let's not forget that football is one of the moaniest cultures in the world.
Yeah.
It's very rare someone has something positive to say, and when it is positive, it lasts for like X amount of time, and then immediately just switches to something else. So
you need to have very good education to deal with social media, I think.
yeah,
Like, we use it as a business model
and an educational tool on top of
and
it.
as an educational tool. But I mean, come here now, even on my personal Instagram page, I get sucked down the matrix, and it's a nightmare sometimes.
We're all human.
But I mean, like, if you'd ask me a question, like, Training121 would adapt irregardless if there was no social media, right? But would I personally, for the greater good of humanity, take away social media until 18? I would say yes, as an unselfish decision.
Probably would you.
Does that include like Snapchat and all?
This. Welcome to the
But-
chat.
Oh, no, I think that's important, no?
All things.
TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Let's say you keep WhatsApp for communication.
So they can keep WhatsApp.
The
for
WhatsApp stories be buzz.
Yeah.
WhatsApp stories be
Yeah,
buzz.
WhatsApp for me is Snapchat. Like, I don't WhatsApp, I Snapchat.
Yeah.
You don't
No,
WhatsApp.
Okay, you
use
can keep
Snapchat.
Snapchat then. Yeah. Why not?
You
I
keep
I
it.
can
King.
keep it.
Yeah.
As a communicate, I suppose it is
Yeah.
just a
That's my main
tool, isn't it?
communication tool, I'd say. Snapchat.
Kinger's like, oh shit.
And Slack.
And Slack, yeah.
And Slack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Glow
That was
Fox.
interesting.
I think it's only net positive in the long run. What are you missing out on?
Yeah.
At that age, your friends aren't in bleeding Taiwan or traveling Vietnam that you need to stay in contact with them. I
Well,
mean,
they're down the
they're
road.
down to
You
school.
still have their phone number if you're on WhatsApp.
Exactly.
What's
You
the
were talking
attraction
real.
of it then when you're younger?
Of using social media?
Instagram.
Good question, man.
Stimulus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much content out there, Kinger.
Yeah.
You definitely do it. We all do it.
It
Every
taps-
single.
I do it as well,
Yeah,
but-
but isn't it? It's
I
that.
wanna
It's
Get
stimulus.
it, yeah. I
It
think you're right.
keeps you in the matrix, man.
Yeah,
You
it
can't get
taps
out.
into-
And
taps
then it's
into-
like the ego hit, obviously, as well.
And
Oh,
then,
it's
of
just to
course.
fill time. I do it just to fill time.
Yeah.
If I can't remember last time I just sat in my room and went stared at the walls. Or I don't know. I just
Just do
done
some-
something else
Yeah.
other than
It taps into your
Flick through my
dopamine very
Instagram.
There's
easily.
yeah,
Or
the
Snapchat.
dopamine hits. There's something psychological that's definitely embedded within us that kind of needs that stimulus. It would have came from something else years ago, but now that we have the phone and it's constant, it
Yeah.
never ends. It's always new, always just constantly updating, and it's incredibly entertaining.
Like, how often would you like my bins are out the back garden, like out in a separate building. I could be walking there holding bin and just would pick my phone and look.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like,
Oh,
You're just filling
walking
space, man.
20
100%,
seconds.
Gary. I become very even
Oh,
getting
stupid.
changed outside here. I was conscious. I had to go on a Spotify and play a song. I was like, "What the hell am I doing?" I'd be taking a piss.
I've always, you've always
watching
done that. I find that mad.
reels.
The playing music when you're walking around, like, I
Yeah.
find that mad.
Yeah, the constant stimulus. I'm in
Yeah.
there as well.
And the only reason that I've caught this is because I've said, Jesus Christ, because I've been on Instagram sometimes, and I would like, let's say max like 25 minutes a day, right, 30 minutes a day, and I'd be like, if I'm on it for, I start getting angsty, like kind of itchy. It's like, oh God, this is not nice.
Really?
Oh yeah,
no,
I'm very poor social media. I've taken an active approach now to being like every app that I have is locked and all. Like, and I'm like, I'd say I probably am addicted to picking up my phone and looking at apps.
I think
Everyone is.
I think
Yeah, I'd
everyone
say
is.
Everyone
everyone
is.
is as well.
Yeah.
When I say everyone,
It's
I
not
mean
chronic. What is chronic? What is the definition for chronic? I think it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I've
I
tried
would
to
be
go
addicted.
more
I'd say definitely.
When I do scroll, I try to scroll TikTok or TikTok. What I'm saying, I do scroll TikTok. Obviously, everyone does. Twitter more because like the accounts I follow, I end up just like bookmarking things and
Yeah.
finding interesting shit to
Good point,
read.
man,
Like,
yeah.
also
Instagram, I
we
barely
spoke
really
about this
ever
before
scroll
with
that much.
Instagram and stuff. People give now about there's always negative stuff. To follow good people.
yeah.
Or if something you don't like, one of your mates is still constantly posting, unfollow them. Get
I'm
them out
I'm
of
gonna
your
put in
network.
a curveball here, man. I'm I'm flooded with too much good content.
I think
it
what
makes
you're-
me feel terrible now sometimes.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
but
yeah.
what
I'm
do you
not
mean
doing
by
enough,
good?
man.
What do you mean by good content? Do you mean something that's educational, or do you mean something that's like always positive?
Well, no, it
type of
is a
thing?
positive. Let's say, for example, like if I'm looking through my feed, let's say one video is David Goggins, the next video is something that I like on a business side. It's just constantly do more, do more,
Yeah.
do more,
Yeah.
do more, do
if
more.
they're
You're not doing
I'm
enough.
thinking to myself
You're not
here,
doing enough.
Their
Relax,
message
will
is
ya?
that if their message is
relax.
if their message that if that's who you're following and the message is that's draining.
But no, but here's the problem.
Yeah.
It's a negative feedback loop because then I'm thinking, I'm like the signal to me is like, Jesus Christ, I am doing enough, and then I was like, oh, Gary, you're just being a bitch here. Like these people are being successful and they're not quitting, and I'm like, it's just a loop. It's just a continuous
That's
loop.
funny. I've never thought like that.
Yeah.
As in, I've never been on my phone going, he's doing loads. I should do that. Maybe
No.
subconsciously.
But I'd
Let me
say
explain
our
this.
content doesn't come at us in that way. Like I would have
True.
much
I'm never
more.
on
I
my
wouldn't
personal
have as
account
much of
actually.
that. I'd have a lot less of stuff like that coming in my Instagram.
How do I explain this? So I'm in a battle now, right? Say there's a mountain going up. You're climbing a mountain, right? There's two.
David Goggins.
No, there's two people. There's the guy on the left who is constantly like discipline, work, 8 hours, 10 hour, 12 hour days, whatever. And then the guy on the right who's like a little bit more creative, who likes to slow down, enjoys random coffees, walking the dog and running, right? And these two people are just battling continuously, going up the mountain all the time. And the guy on the left's been winning for months. And the guy on the right now is kind of getting a little bit pissed off. He's kind of like, here, chill out or you're going to burn. But when I try to tap into the right is saying, yeah, like this is the way to do it. And I feel good, right? But then some of the back of my mind's like, this is exactly what a bitch would say. You should be doing more. And I'm thinking, is that voice true? I can't tell if it's true. Do you know what I mean?
is.
Do you know
I
what? It's a
get
great
you.
description.
That's
get
the most
you.
detailed
And I used-
analogy I've ever heard in my life.
It's very. I know. Do you know what?
unbelievable.
I know when you're starting to get anxious as well. When you say, for example, we're playing pro clubs, 3 hours, and G's like, what's going on here?
Are we done yet?
We wake up in the morning. He's like, lads, need to get to work or something. I can see it. I can see it unfolding.
I used to be kind of very like that and very like you'd see, for example, someone like too much of that on social media.
Torture.
And I've actually gotten to a stage now of just going. You were saying like, oh, you feel like this is competing with this.
Yeah, all the time.
Like, do you mean that as you yourself are both halves, or you're like this person looking at somebody else doing the other part? If that makes sense.
It's you.
No,
internally.
it is me. It's like yin and yang.
Okay,
it's the
right,
two
right.
biggest parts of my personality. And I feel like the guy on the left is bullying the guy on the right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, into being
No, he
strict.
is.
Yeah, I
Because
Yeah.
I
I get
feel
you.
like I'm genuinely in a bad mood for more periods now over the last few months because of that reason.
No,
I
feel
don't
you.
know when to stop.
I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
No, I don't think that's
no,
not. That's
I
not
don't
to do
think.
with
I
your
don't
phone.
think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a factor. It's obviously a factor if it's consciously in your brain right now. But for example, right, one of my favorite humans on social media is Gary V, right? Probably the most intense man in the world. But I don't think I even follow him on Instagram or anything like that. I've no input from him, bar when I want to watch a YouTube video about something. That's it. So I'm never on my personal account anyway. So Training121's logged in on both phones. So the content phone and my phone. I very rarely, unless I get a DM from someone. And even then, you probably see Paddy sent me a DM. Sorry, Paddy. 6 days ago. I haven't got back to him. I just haven't been on the account because I just don't want that information. I don't know what it is. But what I was saying earlier is that you should unfollow people that like things like that. Say, for example, David Goggins every morning going, get to work. I'm like, David, relax, man. You know, I want to just
But Morgan, that's
bring
the
the
thing.
dog for the walk.
But then I'm like, Jesus, because he's like, that's your inner
Yeah.
bitch talk. I was like,
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know, Dave. I don't know.
He's just the
Yeah, but see,
far
there, that's the thing. There's here, which works for him,
Yeah, just
and
like
then
David,
there's
that's
here
good for
that
you.
works for other people.
I'm
Relax.
Yeah.
happy for you.
You just
Wow.
David,
But
you're a
they-
legend and
No,
all.
but
I
I
actually
I
like
get
it,
the,
but
I
like,
get the same as you on a very much smaller scale. Like I'm the guy on the right. Which one was the guy on the right? The lazy one. That
More
walks the
creative
dog.
is the word I'd use.
Lazy
Yeah.
one.
The creative one that walks the
Yeah,
dog.
enjoys
and
the sunset and
yeah.
doesn't care about getting to the
I'm
the top.
so much further on the right, but I do. If you spend too long on the right, the left fella does creep in a little bit, but it would never be like to a point where I'm like, I need to stop with the left, which is crazy. That's
Oh
really
yeah, it's
interesting.
been a proper debate now. It's going on here. I have this. Here
That's
he is,
interesting though. I
little
was-
angel, and then over here is your man like that with his fists up, ready, like you know what I mean?
David Goggins look like.
Yeah, with his
It
top
is.
off, running in.
And you know what? I feel you though. I
-4.
feel you. I actually.
But I
do
think
feel
everyone
you.
has that. I think everyone has that little,
I think there's something. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's definitely both of them.
and it's good as well. I think it's a good thing. It stops you from
Overindulging
yeah,
and overworking.
yeah.
You need to find the balance. The beauty's in the balance. You can't find the balance.
Yeah.
Find it.
Yeah, that is
Find
the
it.
problem. I just
Find
can't
it.
find
Yeah.
the balance.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday. What do you do? Apart from work on Sunday, 2 to 5 p.m. and play pro clubs with lads.
No more. I had the exact same conversation a few weeks ago. My Saturday, last Saturday, right, was a relaxing Saturday. I was on a calendar block. I
Yeah.
had my work calendar blocked off on Saturday of what I was going to do per hour. It was like gym,
How about
walk,
Gee,
dinner.
listen to me.
I was like, these are all leisure activities.
Gee, listen
I'm
to me.
still on a clock.
Gee.
I couldn't believe it.
Gee, listen. So what you need to do? What you need to do? You need to go to the Himalayas and just switch off for a
Chill
little
out.
bit. No, you need to stop scheduling weekends. I had a habit of doing that as well. Yeah, Saturdays.
Yeah,
See,
scheduling weekends. Is
Now it's
mental
the only thing I schedule. I'm going out for dinner this weekend, lads. Would you believe that? Nyla was there when I booked it. Would you believe that? I was like, do you know what? I haven't brought Amy out in years. I'm going to do it. I need to do it. So it's time, and I don't care what we do. I don't care. I might even clean my room in the morning, but I haven't planned it. It's going to be a great Saturday. That's what I'm saying.
No, but
I have so
But
many
geez, like-
unplanned.
can I put in a curveball here, right? And Gary's going to back me up here. Well, he might back me up here. If you had to put a gun to my head at this moment about when I feel the calmest and most content, it is when I get my shit done.
Yeah.
And more.
I agree.
But,
I'm loving this.
is
This
that
is-
sustainable for 40 years? I don't think it is.
No, you gotta have switch off points, and that
You know what
might
I
be.
mean?
But see, you've got 52 weeks in a year. Yeah, if you're that structured and regimented for 52 weeks in a year, even if it's Monday to Friday, right, without having an off day, you'll hate yourself. Surely, at that strict schedule. If you have I'm not saying an off week, you can still be extremely productive. As a collective, we're very productive people. I think more than we think we are. So like, if we have an unproductive week, that's probably an incredibly productive week for someone else or a productive day. But if you just like,
People are fighting their own battles.
100%, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying at what we're currently doing, our current output. Let's say we have 100% was today. We do a lot today. Let's say you hit 70%. That doesn't mean you're bad or you had a bad day. It just means that same day you just weren't bang at it for the 100%. Because if you were and you do sustain that for that long, you're gonna crack. It's gonna happen. Like, there's no way you can be like that at that regimented schedule.
When you go on holiday, what's your holiday look like? Do you like plan?
I don't know, man. I haven't had a holiday in a long time. About when's the last holiday? Like
When's
Say
that?
Amsterdam. You went to Amsterdam.
Yeah,
not
we
that
went to
long ago.
Amsterdam.
yeah, but I
with
mean
G.
that was very spontaneous.
So
I mean, it was-
see when you're over there, like, was it like
No, I was.
we're
for
going
me,
here,
like,
here?
Amsterdam
No, we
was
were with
great.
Tal, so that was the most laid back thing.
It
in the
was. It
world.
was laid back, but I mean,
Shout out Tal.
yeah, it was a weird time, but it was great. holiday.
But like, how would you feel on holidays like that when you
I was
have?
a little bit tense on that one at times now, I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just was in a new job or a new role in my job, so there's a bit of a weird culture of my job about holidays and stuff. So I don't know, it was a bit strange, but
Have you ever travelled alone?
overall,
Gary?
oh no, I'm just gonna try and do it this year.
I wonder how you'd find that. Because you've complete control in one way, but then also
I don't know, man.
you're also kind of by yourself.
Yeah.
It's a real different dynamic.
Yeah, that'd be a big achievement for you, I think, doing that.
Reckon?
Yeah, I'd rate that if you done it.
Well, then we have
But
to do
then,
it then.
but then that planning element, he might really like it because he's like, I can do whatever I want and then have it even more planned and not have to listen to anyone,
I don't know.
which can be nice too.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
You
You
can't
know?
plan everything, though.
Oh, you can't play everything.
Yeah, no, I think I will. But if I'm gonna go on holidays by myself, even for like 5 days, I want to go to either Sweden, Denmark, or Norway. Is where I want to go,
The Scandinavians.
That'd
Yeah.
be good.
and then just chill out and go to the mountain. But here's the thing now, I'm gonna
Go
see.
to the mountains. It's always the mountains. There's something
David
about the
Goggins
mountains,
with
man.
a
It's just
bear
peace, isn't it?
running.
It's just
But I'm
bliss.
gonna- but
Up the mountains, though, there's no one around. That's the thing.
Well, Goggins is there.
Well, he probably
But
is.
I'm
and
gonna
he's
want to
like,
run. I'm
put
gonna
him up.
want to run. Actually, can I pivot this on a David Goggins conversation? Right, I heard him on Chris Williams' podcast say that he puts a cap on his success, and I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. Now, cap. I was like, what do you mean a cap? This is me asking. So what do you mean by a cap? Thinking about this as he was saying it, and he was saying, for him to stretch 2 hours a day, meditate 2 hours a day, run 2 hours a day, and do a gym session every day, every single day he does that. He needs to put a cap on his success. So he's not like he's obviously wealthy, but he's not like a wealthy man. So he intentionally puts a cap on success in all these different parameters. So let's say, for example, his financial freedom has a cap, right? His family and friends has a cap, if that makes sense. So he could do all this other shit. I have never thought about putting a cap on my success.
What's a cap
Define
for
the
family and
define
friends?
the cap. Yeah.
I don't really get that.
So like
Define the cap.
time. So he wouldn't go like
Oh.
meeting out other people. Like, there's a cap on it. The only people have a huge circle of friends and they need
Yeah.
they're involved in all the drama and all that. Like he just puts a cap on it. But more importantly, he's put a cap on his career success, if that makes sense. I wouldn't know where to stop with this. I wouldn't know where to stop at all. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever. I don't know. Put a
I
cap
don't
on
think you can
success.
put a cap on something like this, though.
Yeah.
We're going to the moon. They want the one on top.
Yeah, I don't know.
I genuinely
Yeah.
don't.
Maybe
think
he can't. 'Cause he's gotten to a point where
Yeah.
he doesn't really need to push that
Yeah.
much more.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like,
Yeah.
all right,
He's obviously
I can
already successful.
Chill out a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again,
It was
I
interesting
find
though.
it's like I get that same feeling you do, but it's a good thing for me. Like I'm at my best then, but I don't think I let it get to that anxious level with me in a way. I don't know how
I'm
to even
similar to that.
explain it.
I wouldn't let it get that.
But like see, I'm weird. Like I'd see things on social media like that of people like doing really good stuff like that, and I kind of got the stage, well, that's good for them. Like that's cool. Like I'm rather than competing with them, I'm like, that's cool. Another human's doing whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
I find that crazy. I have
Yeah.
never seen anything be like, he's doing better than me, or she's doing better than me, or
neither
I'm
have I
doing
now.
better than them.
No,
It's
but
so
yeah,
strange.
I'd be more like you might see something Dave Hogan's got. Wow, that's like cool, good for him. Like
Yeah.
or good for that person. Like
No,
I'd never see it as
same
a. I'd never see that and go, well, now I have to do that, or I have to do
No, I
something.
would.
Like,
I would sometimes look at someone and like say,
why am I doing that kind of?
look what he's done. I'm 21. He's 21. I need to be doing what he's doing and more.
You can't do it.
I
Like,
do- I
then when you
honestly
go,
do. I
yeah,
honestly-
yeah, but
sometimes I'm
Jude
like-
Bellingham's 19 and he's like savage. Look
Mr.
at
Beast
us.
is
More
23,
so,
lads.
Look
Mr.
at
Beast
what,
is my
look at
age.
the gift he has.
More
like,
so,
and
right,
everyone
you know
has
what?
that kind
I'll
of-
give you an example. I read that, you know that guy that coaches Arsenal, Carlos Cuesta?
Yeah, I read that as
Why
well.
is he? 26.
24.
20
Oh, he's 26 now. He is
He
26.
speaks 6 languages, and I'm sitting here thinking I'm a coach. And I'm like, why do I not speak 6 languages? And I was thinking I might need to have to start learning foreign languages.
For the laugh.
No, like
Shell's
if you want to
going
work as a
international.
professional coach, then you need to have like a lot of different languages. Think all the foreign lads that you have.
But that, on the other end of that could be a really positive thing for you. That you taking that information, go, it'd be really cool if I started one language. That's cool.
No, I never said it was a negative thing, but it is a thing that
Yeah,
I
when
looked
you
at him and
compare-
go, he has 6 languages, I have 1. He is instantly more employable than me, no matter what,
Fact.
in his role.
Well, he is. Yeah. No. That's correct. Like
That's
by that
yeah.
definition. But like you could see that as a real positive thing as well. And be like, oh, that'd be cool. I should probably learn one language extra.
But
you know?
that's how if I seen something like that, I'd be like, that.
So I think we all kind of feel it.
I definitely feel what you're
Yeah.
talking about, by the way, but I don't think it's a bad thing, as of now.
It's just getting under my skin recently.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You seem very, very stressed by that.
No, it is.
And-
If there was
yeah.
one thing that's pissing me off, it's this.
Because
I've
this is a
sat on
great
the
quote.
chair a few times and I've just been going mad about this
is
analogy.
a quote from your man, and I wrote it down when I was listening to a podcast with Mona.
Mr. Beast?
Gary V.
Oh, Gary.
Yeah, go
Two
GB.
ways to build or do something insane is with either deep levels of insecurity turned into fuel or deep levels of confidence turned into fuel.
That was on Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah. So
You put that in
I-
our chat
yeah.
and I listened to it the
I
next
would
day.
be way more on that first category than I would be on the confidence side. So I think that's kind of, is that not a good thing? I don't know.
If it works for you, baby, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Might not be a good thing for you,
No,
bro.
come here.
At the moment,
Here's
but
the thing, right? It did work, but now the pendulum is turning as I'm getting older a little bit. I'll tell you what, definitely the last, I'd say 2 years that I put a lot more focus on just like how I'm feeling and where I want to be, and just I'm having these internal conversations more and catching myself in moments a lot more. I'm like, something's off there. But where I was younger, I would have just kind of ignored it and not even paid attention to it. Whereas now, it's like every breath I'm nearly conscious, if that makes sense. It's like nearly overly conscious.
So you probably are still learning it, though. If you dial it back a little bit, I think you'll find the happy medium. I think you'll find the balance. I think it's coming soon. I think you should be optimistic about the future, man. I think
I'm
everything's
more
going to become good.
optimistic.
I think you were unaware. Now you're too aware of what's going on. So now you just need to be like, right,
Relaxing.
yeah. I think that the
Chill in the
world,
middle.
though, at the minute, and this is probably back to the social media thing, it's like we're built to see the hustle culture as the only way. But, like,
I call it hustle porn.
yeah, like,
it's the,
everyone,
yeah.
like,
It is.
that's what I mean. Like, and you could be just leading, wanting unconsciously to go towards a way that's a little bit more relaxed than that. But the part of you that would have kind of grown up as an adult in that kind of culture, like we all have with social media and all, is pulling at saying, no, you can't go that way. You can't, like, just be more relaxed. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I think that's more your battle, it seems. I don't know. But we
Yeah,
should,
maybe.
that, people really need to normalize not trying to, like, everyone thinks, oh, everyone has to have a side hustle or everyone has to have a business. Or, it's like, no, you don't. You can do whatever you want. Like, you need
Yeah,
to
I agree
normalize
with you.
that kind of
I agree with
conversation
you.
as well.
It's
you know?
funny because I am that person. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I
like,
love that.
there's no
But
wrong or
I've
right
seen
way.
other people do it. I'm like, that doesn't suit you. Like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're just so like up the wall, or they just seem so unhappy with everything going on in their life.
But
Like,
they're
that's
probably
not good. That's not
affected
good. Oh,
by
100%.
what you're talking about, where they see it on
100%.
social media, like, well, Gary Vee is a social media business.
Oh,
I need one. Bang. I'm doing it.
100%. Then they're just
Yeah.
forcing it. Then
It's big in fashion brands.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be, like, as we always say, it's an extent. Like, Training121 is an extension of the three of us. Like, and it goes from there, really. But here's another thing. Can I just pin it back a little bit, right?
How do airplanes fly?
You're going to trigger Niall
no,
now
sorry,
with these questions because
That would get me too.
Niall is now beginning his meaning of life.
Yeah,
phase.
he is.
I was saying to so I was like, over Christmas, I was like, Morgan was gone down the country. I was in the gaff by himself. I was like, I'm gonna relax today, right? So I had a choice. I was gonna say, right, I'm gonna watch YouTube or I'm gonna paint. And I was like, I'm gonna paint because that's like more creative and I'll tap into it. And I was sitting down painting and I was like, you're doing this for an agenda. You're doing this because you wanna like be creative or like tap into that. It had an agenda. I was like,
You know what?
why not paint for the sake of painting? Why not watch YouTube for just the sake of watching YouTube? Why does it have to be like a
thing.
podcast
Has to be a thing.
watch something and learn something? It's like, do it.
It has to be.
You know what I mean?
No, I
do you ever
get
do
you.
that with podcasts and YouTube? You have to watch a YouTube
Yeah.
video to like get something out of it. Why does everything need to get something out of it?
Can you just watch it for the sake of it? I agree
You know
with
what I mean?
I keep watching videos and
Oh,
like, I need to be learning something from this.
It's like it hits
I'm
10
like,
o'clock.
ah,
Me and
come
Morgan
on,
are going to
man.
watch the Mark Rober because it's like relaxing time. It's like, oh, 10 o'clock hits. Now I can watch Mark Rober because it's like relaxing time. What? What are these like cages we're putting each other in?
He needs to scroll TikTok more or something.
You know what I
Oh
mean,
my
though,
God.
man?
I honestly think this is the best podcast we've ever done. I was just sat here for the last 10 minutes just listening.
Oh, man. Just.
That is
you all right?
eye-opening. That is eye-opening.
I've had this conversation like 4 times with my therapist. lads. That's where the mountain analogy came from.
Oh, I thought you made that up on the spot. I was
No,
like,
no.
that is...
This is a thing.
That would have been deep.
This is a thing, man. My whole brain has like a mountain section. It's time,
You
man.
should go to the Poconos.
No, it's time, lads. I'm going to be in Tibet now in 4 years.
Maybe
You were
maybe
only
Timo
talking
could do
last
it.
week about being mad, emotionally regulated and all.
Me?
You were saying it last week, yeah.
About being up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
To
not
be
up and down
fair.
that much anymore. And now we're bleeding, bouncing up and down mountains.
He is a mountain now, he said.
That's actually a good point.
No, I think emotionally you're grand. I think you're
I've been
thereabouts. Yeah, but it's everything else. It's the whirlwind going on around the internal.
Yeah, I mean, no, I am. I'm like that. And when I'm, I'm elaborate in how I speak and shit like that. But I mean, day to day emotionally, I wouldn't be, oh my God, I feel terrible today. It's more so like, Jesus, like, what? Like, what's the story? You know what I mean? It's like,
You've gone psychotic in this last 20 minutes.
Are you okay?
Oh.
No, honestly, I've been better.
Oh. Okay, we'll cut it there, lads.
Confused.
Super. Next week's we'll go through. We'll do a lie detector test with G. Make sure everything's okay.
The mountain man.
There's something going on here. Kinger, did you speak in this whole podcast?
That was my
Fly
favorite.
on the wall.
Honestly, that's my favorite one we've ever done. And that's hand on heart. That's my favorite one we've ever done.
That was good crack, yeah.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that.
I don't know, did we touch on anything that wasn't... No, that was good. I actually enjoyed that, G.
I reckon
stuff. That
that'd
was
be a
box
great
office.
listen. I recken that was a journey. For me, that was a journey. For me, that was experiencing that. I feel crazy.
Kinger's gonna do a Goggins and run home now. Leave the car here till 2 weeks time.
Come here now. If you tap into Goggins at the right time, it's very enjoyable.
I've never got into the content.
Yeah,
Really?
neither.
I really like
no,
videos.
it is.
Never got into the content.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't
the
do it for
same,
me.
like.
Really?
Yeah.
David Goggins.
I'm kind of a
Just
bit
doesn't do
like
it.
Morgan when he said Gary Vee, where although I do follow Gary Vee, but that kind of idea of not following some of the people, and when I want it, I'll go and look for it. Like,
I watched
I think that's
Gary
probably
V's daily V's, weekly V's, and Trash Talk for the vibes, because just to see how he operates every day.
Yeah.
He's not pushing any agenda in them videos. While in the clickbait videos, and
Yeah.
you say that himself, they go viral and stuff because he's talking about Exodus, like predicting whatever. And
yeah.
he's really charismatic. He can make like a 40-second clip just unbelievably entertaining. But I don't care for that content. I don't care
Yeah.
for what he's saying in them videos, to be honest with you. But his day-to-day operations, I love it.
That's probably for anyone as well out there who kind of gets that kind of same feeling from having too much of that kind of good content, like you said at the very start, where you're saying like it's all good.
Yeah, it is.
It's probably maybe not following the people because you're gonna go watch their stuff anyway when you want to. So then it's not in front of your face the whole time. So
Yeah, no, I might take some action points on that now.
I've never thought about that.
Uh-huh.
But I think
I find myself being like that a lot of time, and even actually, I felt bad about this recently, so I've started doing it, especially because we're going through the struggle of YouTube subscribers. I would search their name because I didn't want it coming up all the time for me. So like, if that's constantly being
I'd have
fed
been
to me
like that, yeah.
now,
I
but
should've-
now I feel like Jesus, I really like these. I have to subscribe to these people because they're doing so well.
Yeah.
So now I subscribe but that's because I love, like, social media is our thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I have to respect them and subscribe to them, but I didn't want to see it prior to that.
Because I just realized I do that with Sky. Like I don't think I follow Sky Sports on Instagram. But like if I want to get a quick see what's going on in football,
Just
do
search
it.
them
But
up.
I hate like 90% of what they post. So
Yeah.
So I didn't really. I subconsciously must do that.
See, you're always on your personal account, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm never. Thank God, I don't want to be honest. Honestly, I don't. Every time I go on, I'm like,
I
apart from
like
the
it though.
odd meme, to be
I
honest
like
with you, I
seeing
love a
updates.
meme. I love
I
a
weirdly
meme.
like seeing updates though on like people dying out. Like I don't know.
But see, if they haven't
like
crossed my
news.
mind in the last 2 months, like anyone I
I
really
just
care
like
about,
to see
I
people
will
do well.
talk to
Like
them. I think that's a
just
good
like-
thing.
I vibe
Absolutely,
with that, to be honest.
absolutely. But like, someone could be doing great and not be posting about it. That's the thing. But if you're
Yeah,
talking to them every
true,
day,
yeah.
you'll know.
Yeah.
Not every day, but I mean, keep in touch with those you actually care about. That's what I do. I try to at least.
I think if you're actually doing great, you don't really post about it because you're
That
just
is
like,
also true.
you don't have time to think and you just whatever.
Ooh.
I also agree with that. Depends. Yeah, no, the majority of the time I think you're correct. And also the false perception that, oh, look at me, I'm doing great. But LinkedIn's the worst for that. Look at me. Go on, Nicky, look at me.
It's dirt.
And we were up in LinkedIn not so long ago for footballers, but that changed very quickly, that whole dynamic. Is everything all right?
Well,
Is everything all right all of a sudden?
not if you go after the right people and you know the right
Yes.
contacts, it's a very good way to communicate with people.
100%. Yes, 100%. But the majority.
People have multi-million euro businesses on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
by just being able to contact people. Sure, it's how we've got a few deals and stuff is through contacting people through LinkedIn.
Oh no, it's great for things like that. But I mean, for the general public that use it for exit, it's not great. Like,
You need, yeah, it's the same with all platforms. You just need to know how to play the game, isn't it? Really,
pick what you want out of the platform.
and get what you want from it.
Do
Yeah.
something that you want with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Call it a day. So
Look at that, huh?
yeah, 3, 2, 1. That's it.